The 1800s were a time of chaos. A time when modern civilization had yet to flourish, and a killer could stay to the shadows while terrorizing an entire city. Here are 3 serial killers pre-20th century that will make you glad you live in a time of security cameras. Jack the Ripper, an unidentified serial killer who terrorized the Whitechapel district of London in 1888, remains one of the most infamous and enigmatic figures in criminal history. The true identity of Jack the Ripper has never been conclusively established, which adds to the fascination and lore surrounding the case. Was he simply a madman who vanished, or was he a skilled tradesman whose twisted fantasies became reality? Between August and November 1888, the impoverished Whitechapel area became a hunting ground for Jack the Ripper, who predominantly targeted and brutally murdered female prostitutes. The killer's atrocities involved throat slitting, abdominal mutilation, and the removal of organs, suggesting a certain level of anatomical knowledge. The most widely accepted list of the Ripper's victims, known as the Canonical Five, includes Mary Ann Nichols, Annie Chapman, Elizabeth Stride, Catherine Eddowes, and Mary Jane Kelly. Some argue he claimed many more. He was even so bold as to send letters to authorities, bragging of his sadistic acts. One of the most chilling letters, referred to as the From Hell letter, was accompanied by a small box containing half of a human kidney. While the authenticity of the kidney and the connection to the Ripper's crimes remain uncertain, it further captivated public imagination. Various individuals have been considered as potential suspects, including Aaron Kosminski and Walter Sickert, both skilled in matters of anatomy and medicine. However, conclusive evidence linking any suspect definitively to the crimes has not been found. The legend of Jack the Ripper has become an urban legend steeped in a horrific past. Perhaps one day the victims' spirits may get closure, but that is highly unlikely. Amelia Dyer, one of history's most notorious female serial killers, was active in the late 19th century in England. She posed as a baby farmer, a person who would care for unwanted infants for a fee, but instead, she neglected or murdered them for financial gain. Amelia Dyer's dark and sinister actions resulted in a high death toll, making her one of the most prolific child murderers in history. Before becoming a baby farmer, Dyer worked as a nurse, which provided her with some medical knowledge and experience. This background allowed her to gain the trust of desperate parents who entrusted their children to her care. Baby farming involved receiving a one-time payment or regular fee from parents in exchange for caring for their infants. However, instead of providing proper care, many baby farmers neglected the children or allowed them to die due to lack of attention, leading to significant mortality rates. Dyer employed various methods to murder the infants under her care. She commonly used drugs, such as laudanum, to sedate the infants, resulting in overdose and death. She also employed strangulation, suffocation, and even starvation to carry out her heinous acts. The exact number of victims attributed to Amelia Dyer remains uncertain, but it is believed that she was responsible for the deaths of hundreds of infants. Dyer's most infamous residence was the White House in Reading, Berkshire, where she committed a significant number of her murders. The house became synonymous with her horrific crimes. The true scale of her crimes only became apparent after her eventual capture. Amelia Dyer was found guilty of murder and sentenced to death. On June 10, 1896, she was executed by hanging at Newgate Prison in London. She took babysitting literally. H. Holmes, born Herman Webster Mudgett in 1861, was an American serial killer and con artist who operated during the late 19th century. He gained infamy for his chilling crimes, including the construction of a hotel designed to facilitate murder and his manipulative nature. H. Holmes is often referred to as America's first documented serial killer. Holmes was not only a serial killer but also a skilled con artist. He would purchase life insurance policies on his victims and then manipulate the circumstances to make their deaths appear accidental, allowing him to collect large sums of money. Holmes' victims were predominantly young women, including hotel guests and employees. He would lure them into his murder castle, where he subjected them to torture, asphyxiation, and dismemberment. The exact number of his victims remains unknown, but is believed to be in the range of 20 to 30. To dispose of the bodies, Holmes used various methods, including burning, dissection, and the use of lime pits. He would also sell some of the skeletal remains to medical schools and laboratories for profit. Holmes' crimes came to light in 1893 when a fire broke out in his murder castle. While the building was destroyed, investigators discovered evidence of his crimes, including human remains. Holmes was arrested and stood trial for multiple murders. During the trial, he showed little remorse for his actions. In May 1896, Holmes was sentenced to death and subsequently hanged at the menacing prison in Philadelphia. Think you can make it through his haunted house?